for Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Let's get out of here! Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show are presented by Alfa Insurance, auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Also brought to you by Ford, proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Make Baumhauer's Victory Grill your big game headquarters all season long. Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Bud Light. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Now, here's the voice of the LA Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Welcome, everybody, to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance, auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Glad to have you with us tonight for Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show. If you want to be a part of the program, submit your question on the UA Athletics Hey Coach live stream on Facebook or YouTube. We're so glad to have you with us and looking forward to tonight's lineup, as we've a lot going on for the program this evening. Excited to talk about track and field at the University of Alabama. Out of the gate, Dan Waters will be joining us here from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. We always enjoy visiting with Coach, and he will be with us talking about some things upcoming for the season with his Crimson Tide. We're also going to be spending a lot of time, as you would expect, talking about the third Saturday in October as the Crimson Tide takes on the Tennessee Volunteers. A 6:30 kick at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Our radio coverage will begin at 3:30 just outside Bryant-Denny, and we'll be in Champions Lane, and look forward to talking with you from Vector Security Champions Lane. It's a busy, busy day. If you're going to be there for the best pregame fan fest in the country, you can check out our live broadcast 3 hours before kick, followed by a free pregame concert featuring country music star Chase Matthew. We're also going to have the largest outdoor LED screens in Tuscaloosa, meet and greet with UA men's basketball players, food trucks, and, of course, ice-cold beer starting at noon in Legends Lounge, where there's never a cover charge. Visit championslane.com each week to get more details. And also want to remind you, while you're coming in, Game Day Done Right is the exclusive provider of reserved tailgating opportunities for the University of Alabama. They offer packages for all group sizes for a single game or for the entire season. Visit them at GameDayDoneRight.com. You got to make sure you're looking your best when you come in, so swing by J&J Apparel, your trusted source for Bama gear. New Alabama hats, T-shirts, and polos arrive daily. You can visit online at jnjapparel.net or shop their retail store at 1926 University Boulevard in downtown Tuscaloosa. RTR with J&J. So many great things going on around game day, and you got to make sure that whether you're facing a warm day, as we will early in the day, or you may want a hot cup of coffee or hot chocolate later, you got it taken care of inside one of those limited edition Bama Yetis that are available at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium this year. The special Yeti Cups available at Champions Lane. Also at merchandise stands inside and outside the stadium. Stop by to purchase our newest design commemorating 100 years of Alabama football championships. Visit championslane.com to get updates on new designs throughout the season and elevate your game day with Yeti. When we come back, we're going to talk Alabama track and field with Coach Dan Waters. The Crimson Classic taking place on Friday at the Harry Pritchett Running Park near the Arboretum. We'll talk with Coach about that and more. Stay with us here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Want to know what's happening this week at Alabama? We've got it covered. Presented by UA Online. Earn your next degree or certificate where legends log in. This Saturday, Crimson Tide football returns home to face Tennessee for the third Saturday in October. You won't want to miss Bryant-Denny under the lights for a 6:30 p.m. kickoff. Can't make the game? Tune in on ABC. Our cross-country team has its first home event of the year this Friday. The men start us off at 8:30 and the women finish out the day at 9:20 a.m. You don't want to miss the action at Harry Pritchett Running Park to start your morning. Crimson Tide Soccer will be home Sunday at 6 p.m. to face Mississippi State. Come out and support our seniors for senior night. You won't want to miss the fun for the last home matchup of the regular season and Stocktoberfest. As always, entry is free. Volleyball will be away this week, but will return home Friday, October 24th to face Tennessee. Stay tuned for more details. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide Sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. That's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Start your legendary journey by earning a bachelor's degree in early childhood education or family studies and child life. We'll catch you here next week. Roll Tide, everybody.
Doris. Why couldn't she be Doris Burke, for crying out loud? Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. Get into Hey Coach tonight. Give us a call at 877-202-BAMA. We're at Baumhower's Victory Grill, your big game headquarters this fall for the 2025 football season. Baumhower's has been voted best wings in Alabama and the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. They're featuring their fan favorites this fall that include the Ragin' Cajun Gooey Fries, Go Fish, the Gooey Char Grilled Chicken Sandwich, and their scratch-made Cabo Wabo Tequila Margaritas. All you football fans, kick off your season in legendary fashion and make Baumhower's Victory Grill your big game headquarters all season long. It's a huge weekend at the Capstone. Yes, we've got football on Saturday, but on Friday, we've got the Crimson Classic. It's the lone home cross-country meet each season, taking place near the Arboretum at the University of Alabama, and we're very pleased that head coach for the Crimson Tide, the track and field program, and cross country, Coach Dan Waters here. Good to see you as always.
Thank you for having me. My 15th year.
15th season.
15th season.
Which is obviously a major accomplishment, any field, any line of work, but collegiate athletics especially. Congratulations in all seriousness. That's a great honor.
Feels really good. You know, it's been fun. It's been fun 15 years. Can't believe this is my 15th time on this show.
And it's an opportunity to be at a place that's very special, but also one of the places you want to be in a very changing landscape of college athletics as well, and your sport no different, I would assume.
Yeah, it's always changing. There's no telling what's coming up next tomorrow or the next day after that. And thank God we got Greg Byrne as our AD. He's doing a great job navigating us through this whole situation. And you know, every day is a different challenge, and we're just waiting for a new playbook every day.
We know how much our student athletes care about the student part of it. They truly do. It's not lip service. It's not a company line. It's true. Been around too many of them over the years to know that that's very much the case. But especially in your sport, it's amazing how many young people, and I know one of the best athletes, one of the most notable that you've had in Doris, and I'm going to say Doris and let you say her last name because I always mess it up anyway, but just an example of young people that come here and they're able to utilize athletics, their particular sport, in this case, cross country, to where she's really able to get an education that she's wanted.
Yeah, Doris is just amazing for us. A great story about Doris. She was competing at the World Championship in the steeplechase just at the end of August, and school's already started. And she's logging in online in the middle of the night and taking her classes from Tokyo, Japan. That's how serious she is about it. She's just one of the best ever.
Very, very special. Let's talk about what's coming up. The cross-country meet, as I mentioned, Friday at the Harry Pritchett Running Park, formerly a golf course that was turned many years ago into a cross-country running park. It's near the Arboretum, for those that aren't familiar with it. You've got an 8K race for the men starting at 8:30, and then the women is 6K. This is one that's been a part of your program for a while now, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been able to have a home cross-country meet out at that park for a long time. It's a Tuscaloosa fan favorite. Everybody loves to walk their dogs out there, and we have to close the park for 1 week of the year to have a cross-country meet. But yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful piece of property. The event crew does an unbelievable job of turning that property into a cross-country course for us, and the hours of dedication and time that go into making that thing look special is pretty cool.
I've covered cross-country meets a few times earlier in my career, and also having a son who ran some in school. One of the most amazing things is to see all those student athletes lined up at one time when that gun is fired to take off. There's a lot of cool stuff in sports, but that's pretty cool as well to see that. What, roughly, give me a ballpark number. Have you ever gotten the range? What is that number?
The number of athletes that we'll have on the start line this weekend is about somewhere between 240 and 250, and that's per race. So there's somewhere around 500 athletes, competing in this weekend's race.
Right.
We've been in races earlier this year where there was 33 or 34 teams, and there was upwards of 360, 370 athletes on the line at one time. And every school you can imagine, every color you can imagine, and it is something for sure to see as they charge down the field and get into their rhythm and race that whole distance.
And it is a sport that you can go, and I hope people will come by and check it out, see the Crimson Tide compete. It's one of these. It's not an all-day thing. I mean, it's not a short run, but it's not a very lengthy thing. You come and grab some coffee and sit there and enjoy the competition.
Yeah, it goes fast. The first race will be at 8:30, as you said, and that whole last about 25 minutes long. And then we'll have a little bit of break, and then we'll get to the women's race about 9:20, and we'll be all done about 10:15. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. First 150 fans there going to get an official Crimson Classic T-shirt and a Bama shaker, and as I mentioned, you can bring your own coffee, but coffee and donuts are going to be provided while they do indeed last. And so there's no charge for admission. Just come and show up, check out the competition.
Watch, yeah, it's good stuff. We usually get some really, really good numbers out there. We've had 3,000 or 4,000 people come out and watch the cross country meet. It's been pretty special.
We're going to talk about the World Athletics Championships and how your student athletes did, but we're also going to talk about on-field recognition that's taking place during the football game, where fans can have a chance to recognize and acknowledge your student athletes. That's when we continue with more from here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. It's Hey Coach on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
That's why it's going to be the wildest SEC season ever.
Up and down the schedule. No conference with more epic rivalries.
Like cornbread versus biscuits.
Cornbread versus biscuits? That's no rivalry.
Biscuits by 2 touchdowns. Easy.
Are you kidding me? Cornbread 56-0 at halftime.
Okay, Paul. Cornbread versus biscuits.
Dinner roll. Game over.
SEC Football Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. on SEC Network and the all-new ESPN app.
Chris Stewart back with you here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill as we continue with Hey Coach, leading up to the Kalen DeBoer Show 15 minutes from now, as the Tides head football coach will be joining us very shortly. But we're talking with the Tides track and field and cross country coach right now, Dan Waters, kind enough to spend a few more minutes with us. Coach, we're talking during the break. Doris Limgale, representing Kenya in the steeplechase at the World Athletic Championships. You've got some other student athletes that are doing that. I think 13 entries, hopefully not injuries, but entries at last month's World Athletic Championships. Special to have that type of national and international opportunity for your student athletes and that type of recognition as well.
You know, it's what's one of the great things about it was that we had some current student athletes competing at the World Championships, but we're really proud of the ones that have graduated and continue to follow the dream and continue to compete, internationally, nationally, all for either for their home countries or for the U.S. And so, having those people, having 13 people represented at the World Championships, I don't know what the stats were, but I think that's one of the highest out there as far as teams that have had athletes continue to compete and do some very special things on the biggest stages.
Doris and Sammy Ogazi will be recognized during the football game on Saturday during that first and second quarter break against Tennessee, two national champions last year. Very, very special.
Yeah, we lucky to have those two. Those are two of some of the best we've ever had. And Sammy was obviously at the World Championships as well and won the 400. Kind of a great story because he did get hurt indoors and he didn't even make the indoor national championships and able to come back and be the SEC champion, regional champion, and then national champion. So Olympic finalist. And then Doris is probably the most decorated track and field athlete we've ever had at Alabama. And for her to win her second national championship was pretty special because she did win the 5,000 indoors and she got second in the 3,000 indoors, and so she's just remarkable.
It is remarkable. And one final note that shouldn't be last, but I guess we've kind of saved the best for last with this. The Bowerman Award, as I understand it, is the Heisman for your sport. And we never had a winner from the University of Alabama, and Doris's name has been mentioned since she's been on campus, but she's got a great opportunity this year to maybe be the first ever Crimson Tide student athlete to win the Bowerman.
Yeah, she's a Bowerman finalist, which makes her one of the three best track and field athletes in track and field last year. So she's up with two other girls, one girl from New Mexico and one girl from Michigan. And if she wins, which, knock on wood, we feel pretty good about it, that she's had just a remarkable season, that she'll be our first ever. And it's a real staple for our program. It's something very special.
Coach, appreciate your time. Hope we'll have a lot of folks there to cheer on your squad Friday at the Harry Pritchett Running Park near the Arboretum on campus. 8:30 for the men's 8K. The women's 6K starts at 9:20. Again, first 150 fans getting an official Crimson Classic t-shirt and shaker. And for people like me, coffee and donuts are going to be there, and you want those while you get the opportunity. Coach, thanks for the time.
Chris.
Good luck to you.
Yeah,
Coach Dan Waters for Alabama Cross Country and Track and Field joining us here on Hey Coach. We got more coming up. Stay with us on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Yeah, we're excited about the third Saturday in October this weekend. Less than 10 minutes, Coach Kalen DeBoer will be joining us to talk about the Crimson Tide's football matchup with the Tennessee Volunteers, but we've also got the start, unofficially, of basketball season. Tomorrow night in Birmingham, we will have ballin' at Boutwell. It's the exhibition game between Alabama and Florida State. Coach Nate Oates, along with Houston Millette, LeBaron Philon, and Latrell Reitzel represented the Crimson Tide yesterday at the SEC's 2025 tip-off, the league's annual preseason media day. Also, Coach Christy Curry and the women's team well represented. They will be participating in the event at Boutwell on Thursday as well. If you're able to get away for lunch or just take the whole day off, women's basketball will play FSU at noon. And then at 7 o'clock, the men's team will be taking on FSU. We'll have radio coverage. First time we've done this in forever, maybe ever, that we've done exhibition. I remember one other exhibition game we've done in about 25 years, but it's very, very rare that we have done this, and excited to have the opportunity to broadcast on many of our CTSN affiliates, and the Varsity app is where you can always hear our broadcast as well. But Bama men's basketball taking on Florida State. It'll be at historic Boutwell Auditorium. You can still get tickets, only a few left. You want to hurry for that. But a great venue, really historic place, and excited about the Tide in Birmingham. The women at noon, the men at 7, both against Florida State. Radio coverage, again, on the network will begin at 6 p.m. When we come back, we've got more to tell you about. Stay with us just a few minutes. It'll be Coach Kalen DeBoer joining us live here from Baumhower's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Want to know what's happening this week at Alabama? We've got it covered. Presented by UA Online. Earn your next degree or certificate where legends log in. This Saturday, Crimson Tide football returns home to face Tennessee for the third Saturday in October. You won't want to miss Bryant Denny under the lights for a 6:30 p.m. kickoff. Can't make the game? Tune in on ABC. Our cross-country team has its first home event of the year this Friday. The men start us off at 8:30 and the women finish out the day at 9:20 a.m. You don't want to miss the action at Harry Pritchett Running Park to start your morning. Crimson Tide Soccer will be home Sunday at 6 p.m. to face Mississippi State. Come out and support our seniors for senior night. You won't want to miss the fun for the last home matchup of the regular season and Stocktoberfest. As always, entry is free. Volleyball will be away this week, but will return home Friday, October 24th to face Tennessee. Stay tuned for more details. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide Sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. That's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Start your legendary journey by earning a bachelor's degree in early childhood education or family studies and child life. We'll catch you here next week. Roll Tide, everybody.
That's why it's going to be the wildest SEC season ever.
Up and down the schedule. No conference with more epic rivalries.
Like cornbread versus biscuits.
Cornbread versus biscuits. That's no rivalry.
Biscuits by 2 touchdowns. Easy.
Are you kidding me? Cornbread 56-0 at halftime.
Okay, Paul. Cornbread versus biscuits.
Dinner roll. Game over.
SEC Football Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. on SEC Network on the all-new ESPN app.
Whether you're getting ready for game day or wearing your crimson every day, Alumni Hall is where Bama fans shop. Load up on Nike, Champion, New Era, and all your officially licensed gear. Make sure you look your best for the Tide. Shop Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa or anytime online. Alumni Hall, the ultimate Crimson Tide shopping destination. Glad you're with us for Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show. Hey Coach is in the books. The Kalen DeBoer Show is coming up next here from Baumhower's Victory Grill on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, it's time for the Kalen DeBoer Show on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Alfa Insurance. Auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Now with Stewart.
Welcome, everybody. So glad to have you with us for another edition of the Kalen DeBoer Show, coming to you live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. The show's presented by Alfa Insurance, auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Our first segment of the program tonight brought to us by Homewood Suites by Hilton in downtown Tuscaloosa. Make yourself at home at Homewood Suites, conveniently located in downtown Tuscaloosa. Stay in comfort and enjoy the great options at the on-site 205 Bar and Restaurant. Homewood Suites Tuscaloosa, proud to be a preferred hotel partner of the Crimson Tide. A busy, exciting weekend. We talked about it in the previous segment during Hey Coach, but the fact that we're going to have men's basketball and women's basketball playing tomorrow in exhibition games against Florida State in Birmingham. The women will play at noon at Boutwell Auditorium, followed by the men at 7 o'clock. But also Alabama baseball in action tomorrow at Sewell Thomas Stadium. The Crimson Tide will be taking on Lipscomb. It's a free admission for Alabama and Lipscomb, 6:30 tomorrow. So all you Bama fans that are coming in for the weekend and will be taking part in the maybe tailgating for the football game and staying in town, getting ready for Saturday, 6:30 at Sewell Thomas Stadium. I said tomorrow. I apologize. Friday. We've done this show for about 20-plus years on Thursdays. So tomorrow in my broadcast career for the most time here has been Friday. Jess, thank you for the catch there. But no, not tomorrow. It is Friday that Bama will be taking on Lipscomb in baseball at Sewell Thomas Stadium. You heard the applause. That was clearly not for me. That was for the head coach of the Crimson Tide, the man putting on the headset as we speak, Coach Kalen DeBoer, who will not want to have any part of this conversation, but I'll go ahead and get it out of the way. Congratulations on being named to the Bear Bryant Coach of the Year Award watch list. It may not even be something you're familiar with. I know we're a long way from the finish line, but to have your name among the best among your peers at any point, but especially an honor that has Coach Bryant's name attached to it, a special deal and well-deserving.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Coach Bryant. So, no, just, team's doing a great job, and we're winning games, and that, recognition of any type comes along with it. Players, coaches, all of that.
Big win this past weekend. I know we got a big one to talk about coming up, and we're going to, but a great win Saturday on the road against a team that was deserving of its ranking, deserving of the respect that your team gave them. But as we talked about going in, this was not an easy motivator if you worry about external factors, because it's not one you've been playing. It's not a traditional rival, and yet it mattered, and you were going to have to be ready from the start. They proved that with their quick 7-0 advantage, and your team responded.
Yeah, every game provides its own challenges, and challenges with matchups and different sides of the ball that are strengths of your opponent. And so you wipe the slate clean after the Vanderbilt game, and you just get back to work and you dive into the preparation. And our guys did a great job. And again, there's no points that carry over. There's no momentum. It's just all about getting back out there. And the guys had a nice week of practice again, and I really felt like we were up for the challenge. A lot of good and for the right reasons talk around Missouri and what they had done as a football team. Very balanced offensively and defensively, and had dominated pretty much most of their slate. And so just I'm proud of the way the guys fought. Like you said, they went right down the field on us, and our response, I thought, was what it needed to be. We didn't really flinch, and that's what I'm proud of our guys for right now. They just, trust each other, trust the process, trust everything that we're doing, and just go back out there and go back to work.
I don't know. I know you spent a lot of your career western half of the U.S., a lot of your life in the western half. I don't know if you've ever spent
It was
any time.
only 6 years.
Okay.
It's not that much.
South Dakota, I still think of. I don't know anything about geometry. You've been around me. But
I got you.
If you're west of Louisiana, then you're way out west.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
With that said, have you ever spent any time in Vegas?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You're. I don't know if you gamble there or not, but man, you're not afraid to roll the dice when the game's on the line. That was pretty special the other day.
You see the reps that we practice, and the confidence you have in the coaching staff for the other team to be in as well, and just proud of the way the guys executed, on those different down and distances, and they're not always going to go your way, and so as much as anything, what I talk about on Sunday with the team is freezing the video and talking to the defense, and just telling them that, are you ready to go on the field if this doesn't go the way it's supposed to,
right,
or the way we want it? And it's a confidence in the offense, but it's also a confidence in the defense that they can mentally get themselves in the right spot, be able to go out there, not panic, be poised, and go do their job and make life tough for in this case, Missouri's offense. And so that's what we talk about in the team meeting is, yes, great job executing, converting. These are big plays, but also, all right, defense, you might get put in this spot. And they have. We've failed on fourth downs, and so they get put in that spot, but it's a trust you have to have, not just in the offense, but in the defense, to go out there and stay poised to get the job done.
I know that a lot of it is feel. A lot of it's off gut feeling. But is there a formula for you with 3 minutes to go and it's fourth down and whatever of where the ball's got to be, how far away? Because you said it during, I think, post-game. They did it to you. They created the problem because they got, 15 yards on 3rd and 23 and made it a 4th and 8 where you actually were in a spot where you go, I've actually got to consider this. And it's a quick decision, I know, but what's the range on that?
Well, you talk about the situation if it's going as planned, right? Where first down you get yards, second down you get yards, third down, and you kind of have in your mind. And when you get to second down and that play's getting lined up, you give, in this case, obviously, I give Coach Grubb an idea of what I'm thinking. But we obviously had gone backwards those first couple plays of that drive, and so. It's just a matter of thinking through and thinking ahead on your own, because now you're just trying to, the coaches are just trying to get as many yards and get some positive plays, but you're just trying to really process, okay, how far and what yard lines are we going to be on, and what's the bonus of, what's the risk reward, and
right.
You do take into account timeouts that the opponent has, obviously the score. The last one, it was probably the easiest, just because it's inside their territory. And yes, a field goal puts, it into they got to score a touchdown.
Right.
But, I just felt like as far back and being on the 2-yard line, it was just, the chances are we got a good chance of scoring. I feel good about what our calls are that we can go to there, and what Coach Grubb's prepared for us and how we've executed that in practice. But I also feel like it was something where when you're backed up as an offense in that spot, you got to go quite a ways,
sure,
to get even into field goal range, and so be aggressive there, and you don't put the game away there in that call and that play, but you make it really hard,
sure,
for Missouri in that case.
I thought one of the most special aspects of all of that you discussed was who was involved in the payoff at the end of all of that, because there were a couple of weeks where you only had 2 guys carrying the football among your running backs, and Daniel Hill had carried it a few times earlier in the year. He's a guy who's I've been to practice, and you see him working hard along with the other guys that may not be getting the reps they would love to have, because everybody wants to start, everybody wants to play. But he kept getting himself ready, Coach. And that, I know he was the only one there. That didn't look like a real easy play. Backpedaling, sometimes when you are all alone, that seems like it could be a tougher deal, but so happy to see him execute and come through for the team, but for himself as well.
Yeah, we always talk about not getting ready, but being ready. You know, your number's called, and you never know what that big play is going to be. It might be a big play in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and obviously it feels bigger in the fourth quarter. He did a great job, and there was a lot of traffic to work through, and we know there's going to be a free player coming off the edge, and I give Ty credit too, because much like we talked about the end of the game against Georgia, where that relationship has to be there between the quarterback and the tailback in Jam's case, and even on the 4th and 1 when we rolled out against Missouri, it's keep away, right?
Sure.
And you got to try to draw the guy to you and you dump it, or in this case, those guys getting that separation, and it was hard to find a passing lane on that play for the touchdown, and Ty getting again over guys' hands and not underestimating what they can do. But we're not throwing it out of bounds into the short field. That's a lot of stuff happening there. And so just really appreciate, the way that those guys executed, don't panic and just play ball.
You talked about the 4th down play earlier, the short pass earlier to Jam. Unfortunately, I think that was the play where he wound up getting hurt.
Yep.
As best you can, update us on both he and Derek. Those were two of the scariest hits that I've seen. I don't know that I've seen guys get knocked out in a game. Coach, I don't know that I've seen two players on the same team get knocked out cold before they hit the ground. And it looked like both of them were before it happened, and thank goodness they're okay. They were able to walk off the field with some help. But update us on their status, just how they're doing.
Yeah, I'd say Derek's probably a little bit further behind on his progress. And Jam's, continue to move along here throughout the week. But there's a we call it the protocol, right? Everyone knows it as the protocol, and you got to meet those certain steps along the way throughout the week. That's completely in the hands of our medical staff, who do a great job. And so, Jam's making good progress. We're not sure yet where that stands, but we're going to think optimistically, but also there's steps again. And so, it can go a lot of different directions. I've seen it happen different ways as the week goes on, but they're out there doing what they can do. And, with regard to where they're at, we'll see as the week goes on here.
I know it's been a while since your playing days, but we found out you got a pretty quick first step, unfortunately, because you were out there in a hurry to check on Derek. That was right in front of you. That was really scary.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was kind of really what it was. I had just an angle, and just the way it hit me was different, and so I guess just kind of leave it at that. But the angle I saw it happen at just gave me, a certain feeling, and that needed to be out there. So, and the ball, obviously, the play was over.
Right. Coach, let's go to the phones, and we'll go to our first call or first question brought to us by Alabama 811. Alabama 811 wants to help you prevent injuries, outages, and loss of life. Call 811 or visit al811.com before you dig. It's free, it's simple, and it's the law, and it's the first one. So it's Pee Wee down in Grand Bay. How you doing, Pee Wee?
Doing fine, sir. Coach,
good.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, Pee Wee. How are you?
I'm doing well. Coach, we had a big, long, hard-fought game this past week, and we did everything that we needed to do at the time that we needed to do in order to win it. It wasn't always pretty. And then I understand that Ty had like a little heart-to-heart meeting with the offense on Monday. I'm just wondering, after that meeting, did you see any type of difference in practice maybe before that was? And I'm just curious how that worked out.
The practices have been high energy, as you would expect going into Tennessee, and the rivalry that it is. But, I think it's just they know that they're capable of more. Ty knows that. And, it's across the board. It's not like it's one particular person or, it's just everyone just keep raising their game. And they've done that, right? They've especially executed in big moments. I think they just want to, really focusing on, finishing drives when they have the opportunities and continuing to execute big moments. These guys are ready to go. Like, I don't question that. We've scored early in games, most of the games we've played, on the first drive, second drive. And so, I really appreciate the way that they prepare and the mindset coming into the game with the confidence. So it's just keeping your edge. That's what's hard, when you're going against a great football team every single week, and these opponents that are all ranked, that all have great football players that are preparing for you just like you're preparing for them. So that's the key, is to keep that edge, and that's what Ty's doing a great job of making sure the offense does.
Thank you for the call, Pee Wee. Coach, we talked about Daniel Hill, but another guy who had a couple of big catches in the game, Danny Lewis Jr. Great to see him back and contributing at the level that he is right now for your squad. Another great talent at tight end. Yeah,
Danny's been, Danny's been working through, and you guys know he missed the spring, and he really missed the entire summer, and just works through. And continues to add volume to the reps that he can take, not just in games but in practice. And so he's a big physical blocker for us. We certainly had that last year with CJ and Robbie. Mm-hmm. And I think our tight ends are done a nice job. And Josh carried the load quite a bit there early on. But now you see Danny come in there. And Caleb Edwards has done a really nice job as a young guy filling in a void there too. So it's by committee, but those two guys I think have really risen to the top. And the catch that Danny had right before we scored on the touchdown, sure. I mean, that's the one again that puts you in a spot. Right. And so, I showed the team that. I showed the touchdown, but then I backtracked. I said, here's the play that set up the touchdown, and think about how important that play was. And that happened fast, and that was not an easy throw. That was not an easy catch, so you had to really reach out there and even turn the corner, slipped a little bit, but really lean forward, and every yard down there was important. Right. Every single yard, it just gives you more plays, more opportunities in your playbook to draw from. So Danny did a nice job. He's really been helpful for us here these last couple games.
Let's get it done, offense, defense, but your special teams unit has been really good. A couple of guys that I think have stood out for you in Cole Adams, obviously, in the punt return game, but also Dre Washington as well.
Yeah, and again, I'm talking a lot about what our meeting sounded like Sunday, and we talked about all the things that we fell short on. But a guy like Cole Adams, has been on the field a lot over the last. I know last year, at least when I was here, he's out there and he went through the injuries and things like that. But he's such a dependable guy offensively, mm-hmm. and with our receiving core and how competitive it is, it's been hard for him to get as many reps. But you talk about being a team player and carving out a role, and what he's doing as a punt returner, and just solid. And our team they will block their tails off for him, they're out to protect him back there when he's punt returning because they believe in him. And how can you not when you got a guy that just pours everything into it every day, and he's ready to go too. You talk about being ready, much like we talked about Daniel Hill. Cole's ready, and for his opportunities. And then all of a sudden you get an onside kick, and guess who lands on it? Guess who has to go have the guts and understands the rules that they can't touch you until the ball goes 10 yards, and is aggressive to the ball to field it before it got to that spot where it got a little, could get crazy. I'm just really proud of him. And, Dre Washington is another one, running back that isn't out there getting a ton of reps, but he's the one recognizing the fake punt and going and making the play. And you talk about inches. I mean, that definitely wasn't a yard, but we're talking about a foot, maybe 2 feet tops, and just instinctively triggering and not kind of guessing and wondering what's going on or flinching, just going right now and running towards that sideline and knocking their player out of bounds, and us being able to take the ball over right there. That was huge.
Was indeed. Alabama getting the win over Missouri. Hopeful to do the same this weekend. We'll talk about Tennessee. We'll take more of your calls, and also want to remind you that you can be a part of the show by contributing on the UA Athletics Hey Coach live stream on Facebook or YouTube as well. It's the Kalen DeBoer Show here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. of windows to catch it through. What a pass again from Ty Simpson, and Bama takes the lead 13-7. Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show are presented by Alfa Insurance. Auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Coach Kalen DeBoer working the room a little bit here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Continuing on with the program, I'm Chris Stewart, 877-202-BAMA, the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. You can also join us tonight on the UA Athletics Hey Coach live stream on Facebook or YouTube. And Coach, we've actually got a pretty good question from Derek, who says, hey Coach, how important is communication and eye discipline for our secondary and linebackers when facing an up-tempo team like Tennessee, especially with a mobile quarterback who can extend plays? Derek says, roll Tide and let's light up the cigars on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff there. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball. They're the number one offense overall in the conference. Number one passing offense conference. And the thing that makes them special, as the question referred to, is they're, I think, number 3 in the conference in rushing the football, over 200 yards a game. So physical, offensive line, running backs that can pop explosive plays, and then they throw the ball way down the field. And so, you play loose or you play coverage, they can get after you up front. So as far as the question's concerned, the communication is critical, and it has to be efficient, right? Because you're only going to get so many seconds to get the signal from the sideline, or make checks based on just the call we make and maybe the formations that they're coming out in. So the efficiency of it and making sure that everyone's on point, you have no time for deliberation out there. You got to make a call and make sure you're on the same page, and that comes through reps, that comes through a trust in each other, and that's going to be critical. But our eyes got to be in the right spot, because with the speed and the way they like to push the ball down the field, if you aren't in tune to your reads and discipline to it, they'll take advantage of you.
Coach, we got a question from a gentleman right here. If you would say your name and then go with your question.
How are you, Coach? Alex. Great win last week. Looking forward to this one. Excited for Saturday night. If you were to coach one former Alabama player, who would it be?
If I could coach one former
Alabama player.
This is where you get in trouble.
No, you don't have to get in trouble, because it's one that you never coached before. So one that you could have coached that you'd like to.
Oh, man. What do you think?
I go Eddie Jackson.
Okay. All right. I mean, you can talk me into that one pretty easy. So, I don't know. Chris?
Julio, I know, was a program changer. Coach Saban said.
And I've had a chance to sit down and talk with him, and could definitely see, not just from obviously what I've saw, most of it was, the playmaking, but having a chance a year ago, a couple times to talk with him, and the intentionality, the focus, that he had, intensity,
right?
Even just in our conversation. I could see that being a lot of fun.
One of the things about Julio, and Coach Saban talked about this, seeing him at a practice long after he'd been gone. I mean, this was only about 3 years ago, year or two before you arrived. He said there was a guy that was kind of pouting a little bit at practice, and Julio, as an alum who hadn't played in more than a decade, walks up to the guy and says, hey, that's not how we do it at Alabama.
There we go.
Because it's still his program, still his team, and that's all part of what makes a guy great, besides the numbers.
And that's the way I felt when I was talking to him, the first time we met last year. So
good deal. Thanks for the question. Let's go ahead and get another one. What's your name, buddy?
Hey, Coach, my name is Zane here, and thanks for the time. And my question is, in a 40-yard sprint between you, Coach Womack, and Coach Grubb, who would win and who's coming in last?
Man, you're just really trying to keep it loose here on an intense week, huh?
I got nothing. I got nothing to do with it.
I don't know. That could be interesting for sure. So it depends on what's on the line.
I know who wins. Andrew Sports Medicine. That's the big winner
There you
in
go.
that.
There you go. That is definitely true.
That's what I thought. Thanks for the question.
That's funny.
He'll talk to you during the break and give you the real answer. How about that? Thanks. Let's go to our first question from the AL.com Alabama football Facebook page from Jimmy in Cooksville, Tennessee. He says, hey, Coach, roll tide from behind enemy lines. First of all, I love the creativity of the offensive side of the ball. Can you comment on the value of keeping the opponent's defense guessing throughout the game? Thank you. And Jimmy says, please, there in Cookeville, Tennessee, please beat Tennessee.
Yeah. I think everything you do, both sides of the ball, but the questions being offensively, you have your base concepts, you have your principles and things that you really hang your hat on. Run game, pass game, and those are going to show up more times than not, in every game. But I think what's it come out of? We talk about window dressing of different formations and motions, just being creative with wrinkles off of those plays. And so it's the play off the play. It might be play action and then another different variation of the routes off the same action that look maybe like what you did a week ago. And you get to this point of the season, and it's week 7 now, and there's just so much that they have to look at and prepare for. And that's really what you love, is just try to keep adding things to it to where, you can go back and run stuff from week 2 or week 4 or week 6, and
right.
They probably had limited reps on trying to prepare for that. So that's kind of been the style, over the years. And again, you keep adding to it. Our coaches do a great job of keeping it within kind of our identity and making sure it's things that we can execute well, but also always keep, our system continues to expand and continues to grow. And a lot of it has to do with the players that we're coaching and what their strengths are.
When we come back, where you get your thoughts on the third Saturday in October, truly the rivalry aspect of it and what you've learned about it among Alabama fans and participating in it for a year. Coach Kalen DeBoer with us here. Well, we're glad. It's his radio show, the Kalen DeBoer Show. But first, we're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
That's why it's going to be the wildest SEC season ever.
Up and down the schedule. No conference with more epic rivalries.
Like cornbread versus biscuits. Cornbread versus biscuits? That's no rivalry.
Biscuits by 2 touchdowns. Easy.
Are you kidding me? Cornbread 56-0 at halftime.
Okay, Paul. Cornbread versus biscuits.
Dinner roll. Game over.
SEC Football Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. on SEC Network on the all-new ESPN app.
Want to know what's happening this week at Alabama? We've got it covered. Presented by UA Online. Earn your next degree or certificate where legends log in. This Saturday, Crimson Tide football returns home to face Tennessee for the third Saturday in October. You won't want to miss Bryant Denny under the lights for a 6:30 p.m. kickoff. Can't make the game? Tune in on ABC. Our cross-country team has its first home event of the year this Friday. The men start us off at 8:30 and the women finish out the day at 9:20 a.m. You don't want to miss the action at Harry Pritchett Running Park to start your morning. Crimson Tide Soccer will be home Sunday at 6 p.m. to face Mississippi State. Come out and support our seniors for senior night. You won't want to miss the fun for the last home matchup of the regular season and Stocktoberfest. As always, entry is free. Volleyball will be away this week, but will return home Friday, October 24th to face Tennessee. Stay tuned for more details. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide Sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. That's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Start your legendary journey by earning a bachelor's degree in early childhood education or family studies and child life. We'll catch you here next week. Roll Tide, everybody.
Drop pass across the middle to Quavvis for the touchdown. Yep, the redshirt senior with that touchdown grab and a big part of the Alabama offense since the arrival of Coach Kalen DeBoer from Washington, thank goodness, to the University of Alabama, and the aforementioned Mr. Quavvis, all 6'3", 256 of him, from L.A., Los Angeles to, well, not quite lower Alabama, but West Alabama anyway. He's here with us. Josh, good to see you and welcome. Glad to have you with us on the show.
Likewise, great to be here.
Full day. We were talking off air. Life of a student athlete, especially in season. It's a full one. I know practice was around, what, 9 or 10 this morning?
9 or 10, 24 periods, just grinding it out this morning, yeah.
So that means the wake up is rather early. Walk us through the day for you during a normal week, such as today, just to give people an idea of what that schedule's like.
Yeah, so kind of what my day starts with is just kind of getting up earlier, just kind of maybe 2 hours before report time, and then kind of getting to the facility early and just kind of going through prep stuff, just hot tubs, cold tubs, recovery, training room, stuff like that, and then finally go up to eat, and then I'll look over the script, I'll look over the play calls that we have for the day, and then head out to practice, head out to meetings, and then head up to practice, and then after practice I'll get some more recovery and stuff like that, and then however long that lasts, since I'm a fifth year, I don't really need to report to campus for classes because I have them all online. So I have a pretty chill schedule when it comes from 12 to 5 o'clock.
Sure.
So just kind of doing whatever I need to do to prep for whatever it is I need to prep for, and then finally get back to the facility around 5:15 for meetings and walkthrough.
The Malmore Athletic Facility, it specifically, obviously, the football part of it's one. Look, I know there's a ton of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears there. That's also a pretty cool place to hang out and recover as well. Talk about what that is like as a student athlete also.
Yeah, I mean, that's 90% of the experience of being a student athlete at the University of Alabama is just hanging around your teammates. Those are the guys you're going to see most of the time during season especially. So kind of getting that team chemistry on the field, it's pretty essential to get that team chemistry off the field as well. So hanging out with your teammates as much as you can is just as important as running the plays that you're going to run in the game, because that's something that you need when you have that team chemistry is trust. And you build that trust off the field. So.
And speaking of trust, the guy to your right that's just sat back down, Coach Kalen DeBoer, I know is a guy you got a lot of trust in, or you wouldn't have come cross country to continue playing for him when you came from Washington.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a no-brainer when Coach Sheridan kind of reached out to me and was like, hey, we're looking for one more spot, and you're the guy we want. So, I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. I committed right on the spot. And I believe in this coaching staff's philosophy and Coach DeBoer's philosophy of kind of putting that trust in their players and them putting us in a place where we're going to succeed. And I just know that they're going to do that to the best of their ability, and that's why it was a no-brainer for me to follow Coach DeBoer.
Coach, everybody talks about what you guys do in the passing game and what you've done in the run game as well. But you can tell by the way you use your tight ends and also the number you want to have on the roster. That's a vital piece of the puzzle, whether you're talking about the run game or the pass game.
Yeah, it is. And Josh really has developed into the all-around, just guy that can go out there, line up out in space, wide. That was really kind of what he was before he came to us. Probably high school days, early college days. Caught 50-plus balls in college his first year. Going all the way back to Cal Poly, right?
Yeah.
Probably 55, 60 balls, somewhere in there. And just that balancing up with what he's done and physically building himself up and just growing as a blocker. Off the ball, he could do that right away when we first had the chance to coach him. And it's certainly gone now to where he can line up on the ball, off the ball. Extremely intelligent. You talk about trust. We trust him to know where to go and how to do it. And then you heard him talk about his schedule, and what he's doing on top of the things that, guys normally do. The check-in time is usually around 7. a little bit before that maybe, and he said a couple hours before that to get all those things ready to be sharp on the script and practice plan. That just tells you the commitment that this guy has, and it's awesome every day knowing you got people like him.
Tell me about your favorite part of playing for Bama.
Favorite part? The culture. I've never really been to a true college football town experience. I mean, coming from Washington, big city, super broad, kind of like they had the Seahawks, they had the Kraken, they obviously had the Dogs out there. But, coming to Tuscaloosa, everything's pretty much catered to game day.
Right.
So just having that experience under my belt was just kind of surreal to see when I first got here. And it was just something that made it so much more easier to transition to, and extremely grateful for that.
Awesome. You had a couple of veterans last year to learn the ropes from, even though you were established as a player, but still people you can learn from, like C.J. Dupree, Robbie Oods. Tell me about what you learned from them during that season with those guys around.
So my approach to that was kind of immediately kind of just getting to know those guys, and they did a great job of kind of taking me in, and I mean, I thank them all the time just for kind of like giving me that experience, being a newcomer, and just kind of, because they had a lot to deal with too, coming in with a new staff, just kind of getting the ropes of everything there with Coach DeBoer and his staff. So props to them for kind of getting a grip there, and then having to introduce me to the Alabama standard and things like that. And I mean, just kind of me slowly earning their respect through mental stuff, through physical stuff, and just kind of even sometimes teaching them the ropes of the offense too. Like sometimes they'd come and ask me just because I was in the offense for a year prior to them. So just kind of us bouncing ideas off each other and just kind of getting to know each other off the field just made us even closer.
Coach, how important has it been to have guys like Josh, Parker Brailsford, and I could name a few others, but that have been with you before, that understand? I mean, clearly they believe in you. We already heard that from Josh. But when you're establishing the early days of the culture that you want for your program, how vital have those guys been in helping to other guys to understand, I guess, maybe what you're looking for?
Yeah, it's huge. It's not just being a great football player, it's being a great human. I know, and I knew then too, from the beginning, just what they stood for and that you could count on them, and that they were doing their part. Very low maintenance, and they're just taking care of their business, and also then like Josh referred to, just helping other guys come along. And I guess I'm probably as proud as anything about how these guys and Josh, and since he's here, we're talking about him, just how he's grown. Other guys have grown. Germ, Austin, and Parker just have grown into these leaders on our football team. And just each and every week you know what you're going to get, not just in practice but on game days. And so proud of them. I'm glad that they're enjoying their journey, because I think that's what life's all about. That's what college football is all about. It's an awesome time of their life, and you want it to be enjoyable. And I'm glad to see that they're doing that.
Coach, we got another question from our AL.com Alabama football Facebook page. It's from Carson in Wetumpka, Alabama. It says, "Hey, Coach, the Vols are averaging 48 points per game so far this season. What makes their offense so tough to defend?"
Tempo, run a lot of plays, stretching the ball down the field. They'll throw it up and let some really talented receivers go up and get the ball. And it's not just one, it's across the board. And then explosive runs, because when you're backed off and trying to play coverage, they just hammer away at you there. But you got to get lined up, and when they smell blood, when they see blood in the water, they attack you even more. And that tempo is tough to try to get back under control when it gets rolling.
Coach, we got another question from here in the audience. Go ahead and tell them your name, and then go ahead with your question, buddy.
Hello, my name is John. I got one question here for you. You've earned your degree already coming into this season. How important was graduating to you and your family?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great question, because first thing my mom told me going to college was, you're not going to the NFL without your degree. That's number one thing. You need to have a backup plan, and that was kind of my idea going into it anyway, was, the days of playing football don't last forever, so you need to have something to fall back on, and that was a big part of another reason why I followed Coach DeBoer, because his big philosophy is kind of getting that degree, and nobody can take that away from you. So just earning that education and having a backup plan was something that I knew was my number one priority.
Great question and great answer. And Coach, does it make it tougher or easier in the recruiting process to have those expectations that you have? Does it help to weed out other guys, or does it make it tougher to find what you need to excel as a team at the level you want to? Because the things that you just talked about, or Josh talked about, and that you require are not found in everybody, and they're not found maybe as much today from the academic side as they once were.
Yeah, there's a lot of great football players across the country, and a lot of great football players that want to come to Alabama. And so, just like many players are trying to eliminate schools when they have so many offers, for us, that's what we're doing is we're eliminating, trying to really dial in on the guys that we know are going to obviously do great things in the football field, but have a high level of character, work ethic, want to be a part of something special, and the academic piece. So take care of business there, so there's not distractions, and we can focus on being the best football team we can be, and that all comes together. And we have the resources that are just amazing to help complement and supplement these guys and their careers and what they're accomplishing. And so we had over 103 of 125 guys had a 3.0 or higher, in the spring semester, and our GPA was a 3.29. And when you have that, that's less distractions, again, like I said, that allow you to focus on football.
Tell us what you do away from the field. Not you, Coach, Josh. Tell us what you do, because we know family's all you're doing other than football. But Josh, how about for you?
I mean, most of my time is spent with the other tight ends. Just kind of seeing their schedules and whenever they're out of class, because I'm an old guy, I'm an old head, so it's just whatever I can do to kind of like help the younger guys out. I mean, make them more comfortable, because you never know when, I've experienced this, you never know when like maybe a football question or something just randomly pops in your head that you think about, that you've been thinking about since practice or something like that. Like, it's good to have an older guy there, but like I said earlier, just kind of building that team chemistry, you can't get close enough with your teammates. You kind of need that trust in one another. And one of my other kind of goals is leave this place better than I found it. So a part of that is kind of helping the young bucks get going and kind of learning this offense and kind of picking up where I left off. So definitely spend most of my time just kind of, definitely not at home, just because, I am a homebody, but I'm not super homebody to where I'll just stay there. I'll get bored. But definitely spending time with other teammates.
All right, more enjoyable. Making a diving catch for a first down or a touchdown, or throwing the block that springs one of your great runners like Jam Miller or Caden Proctor for big yardage?
That's a good question. Gosh, I'm going to have to go with making that touchdown block. Just because this season especially, I'm taking more pride in my blocking, just because I felt like I was good in the pass game. I was more of a third down type of guy last year. So kind of seeing the reward that I get from putting in all the work in the off season and stuff like that, just kind of taking pride in my blocking and kind of putting on that mask to play in the SEC. Just kind of seeing my investment kind of having a high reward. So definitely the touchdown block.
And I would imagine on that block there's incentive. You want to make the block to make room for the guy coming behind you, but when you know it's Caden, there's even more incentive to make the block and get out of the way yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You don't want that running in your baback.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Especially not the helmet to the back. Our back plate can only do so much. Yeah.
I understand. There's a back plate.
Yeah.
And then you need a platter or a tray.
Yeah.
For that, if it's Caden, I understand.
If I was blocking for Caden Proctor, most of the time I'd probably wear a bulletproof vest.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
That's a very good call. Kevlar, very, very important. We come back, we're going to get the final word from Coach DeBoer, spend a little more time with Josh Quavvis, maybe work in another question from the audience as well. Stay with us here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Want to know what's happening this week at Alabama? We've got it covered. Presented by UA Online. Earn your next degree or certificate where legends log in. This Saturday, Crimson Tide football returns home to face Tennessee for the third Saturday in October. You won't want to miss Bryant Denny under the lights for a 6:30 p.m. kickoff. Can't make the game? Tune in on ABC. Our cross-country team has its first home event of the year this Friday. The men start us off at 8:30 and the women finish out the day at 9:20 a.m. You don't want to miss the action at Harry Pritchett Running Park to start your morning. Crimson Tide Soccer will be home Sunday at 6 p.m. to face Mississippi State. Come out and support our seniors for senior night. You won't want to miss the fun for the last home matchup of the regular season and Stocktoberfest. As always, entry is free. Volleyball will be away this week, but will return home Friday, October 24th to face Tennessee. Stay tuned for more details. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide Sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. That's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Start your legendary journey by earning a bachelor's degree in early childhood education or family studies and child life. We'll catch you here next week. Roll Tide, everybody.
That's why it's going to be the wildest SEC season ever.
Up and down the schedule. No conference with more epic rivalries.
Like cornbread versus biscuits. Cornbread versus biscuits? That's no rivalry.
Biscuits by 2 touchdowns. Easy.
Are you kidding me? Cornbread 56-0 at halftime.
Okay, Paul. Cornbread versus biscuits.
Dinner roll. Game over.
SEC Football Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. on SEC Network on the all-new ESPN app.
Missouri. Prevula firing left side. See, picked off, intercepted, and getting the pick for Alabama will be Deshaun Lee. It was perhaps deflected, but intercepted by Deshaun Lee. A great pick there. No deflection, but a great pick by Deshaun Lee, and Alabama able to hang on, get the win 27-24 over Missouri. Now, of course, it's Tennessee coming up this weekend. I'm Chris Stewart along with Coach DeBoer and Josh Quavvis for a couple more moments. Coach, of course, the game means a lot to the fans. You've experienced it once now. What does the rivalry mean to you and to this team? I'll get your answer, and then I'll get Josh talking on behalf of his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, we're just super excited about this weekend, and I do understand, what this means to our fan base and, all the great teams that have been here that have gotten the job done on the football field, and we want to do the same.
Josh, how about for you? It's a very unique, very special matchup.
Yeah, it fires us up. Absolutely. I mean, it's something that we've been chasing since last season, and I can even give you an example. So the tight ends, we have a football goal sheet and we have a personal goal sheet that we do before every week to try and meet those goals. And most of the guys wrote down on their personal goals was to beat Tennessee because it is personal.
Sure.
It is something we take personal. And I mean, winning isn't easy in the SEC, so it just makes it even more rewarding when you see the entire week of preparation paying off.
Coach, it's already that time to get the final word from you and get your thoughts on what's ahead.
Yeah.
And chance for you to share that. And I should say that the final word from you is brought to us each week by McCurry, Van, and Carr Riddle. We hope that you'll check out McCurry, Van, and Carr Riddle for all of your rental needs. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I'm proud of the way the team each and every week comes ready, and we definitely got to be on top of our game and be at our best, this Saturday. And so excited about the new challenge. Again, every week is its own week, Nothing carries over from last week, and so the guys have been working hard and looking forward to having everyone there at Bryant-Denny Stadium. We need everyone loud and proud, giving everything they got to make it an awesome atmosphere.
And I will tell you this, Coach. Cigar smoke smells a lot better after a victory. It's amazing how bad it smells after a loss and how great it smells after a win. I'm looking forward to a great smell this weekend at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Thank you both so very much, Coach.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate
Roll Tide.
it. Roll Tide.
Roll
Coach
Tide.
Kalen DeBoer and Josh Quavvis joining us here on the show. Appreciate their time as always and appreciate you joining us. We've got more coming up. Don't go anywhere as we'll continue on. We'll have the game day weather forecast presented by Barkley Buick GMC in Tuscaloosa, where Barkley makes it easy. James Spann giving us that next on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
They bring a man in motion. They'll fake it to him. Milroe downfield has a man. It is caught. Touchdown, Josh Quavvis, Alabama, adding to its lead with 10:05 to go.
My name is Josh Quavvis from Los Angeles, California, Campbell Hall High School. I really chose to come to Alabama just for the football atmosphere, really, and the coaching staff. I was at Washington previously with this coaching staff, and once they left, I was kind of up in the air on where I really wanted to go and what I wanted to do. I'm grateful enough to have a spot here. When Coach Sheridan called me, he's like, we're looking to pick up another tight end. I was immediate yes, just kind of getting back to my coaching staff that I love. So I played a tight end position. In high school, I played pretty much every position. There was nothing that I really couldn't do. I was playing quarterback, I was playing running back, taking snaps everywhere, at corner even, outside linebacker, just kind of everywhere. But just due to my size and my ability to run routes and catch the ball, they saw it was a good fit for me to play tight end. So that's how I ended up kind of making my way into that position.
Right, throws deep downfield. He's got a man there, and it is caught. Quavvis at the one, falls down.
Like some of the great aspects, like you're almost like a really good team player, and you're kind of doing almost all the little things that your OC wants you to do, your head coach wants you to do. You're chipping to help some of the O-linemen, you're getting in the flat to help some of the receivers open up on their routes to grab some corners or flat defenders. You're blocking, you're helping the quarterback get out of the pocket. You're doing all these little things that may be overlooked by all these analysts, ESPN, Fox, whatever. But you're doing all the little things, and I think that's more rewarding or it's just as rewarding as making a big catch or making a big block. I just want to thank my fans absolutely from the deepest part of my heart. I appreciate you. Transferring from a few different schools, it can be pretty hard to kind of transition into a new atmosphere, but you guys took me in like your own and have made this transition even easier than I could ever imagine. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to my family too. You guys have sacrificed so much for me to get here, and I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at without my fans or my family, so thank you.
Did not.
We are expecting a good round of rain and thunderstorms across Alabama late Saturday night into Sunday morning. At the moment, it's a close call, but at the moment, it looks like the better chance of rain will be after the game, after midnight Saturday night. For the game, we're expecting the sky mostly cloudy. Temperatures will fall through the 70s during the ball game, just a small chance of a shower by the fourth quarter. That's the game day forecast brought to you by Barkley GMC. I'm meteorologist James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network.
Time to take a look at what's on tap next for Bama. That is, of course, presented by Coors Light. Crimson Tide fans choose to chill with an ice-cold Coors Light. Next up, The third Saturday in October, it's Tennessee coming to town for a matchup at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Our broadcast will start at 3:30 on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, presented by Learfield, and the game will be brought to you by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola, that's a winning combo. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. Big thank you again for Coca-Cola broadcasting earlier segment of our show, and also for being the broadcast host for our game on Saturday in Tuscaloosa. We always appreciate Christopher Mobley as well, the preferred luxury clothing provider of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. If you missed any portion of tonight's show, you can always catch it on demand on our Alabama Insider podcast. Download and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow night. It's Bama men's basketball as we'll broadcast starting at 6 p.m. from Boutwell Auditorium. The Crimson Tide taking on Florida State in exhibition play. Make a day of it. Come join the Tide women's team as they'll play FSU at noon. No radio coverage for that one starting at noon, but we will have the men's broadcast starting at 6 with tip-off time set for 7 o'clock from historic Boutwell Auditorium in Birmingham. The Vice President and General Manager of the Crimson Tide Sports Network is Jim Carabin. Our producer-engineer, of course, is Tom Stipe. For our studio engineer, Ethan Sargent, and the rest of our Crimson Tide Sports Network crew, I'm Chris Stewart. Thanks for joining us. Roll Tide and good night from Baumhauer's Victory Grill.